Ryder testing. I trust we've seen it in the UK as well. It happens. So sometimes it's not the truth is not what it seems, and these people are innocent. So I'm not a judge, jury, executioner. I'm not gonna try and.
Now, him being in his hometown, there might be people saying that the judges might be in his favor. Do you feel like you have to get a knockout or at least knock him down to get a victory in his hometown?
No, not necessarily. I think the judges are going to be neutral. No English, no Mexican, so I think this can be a fair fight.
John, do you guys have 3 opponents in common? You can have a similar build, about the same height or whatnot. Why was he able to have that success with like Caleb Smith and Billy Joe Saunders and the common opponents you guys have?
Because he saw me fight them first. He saw what I did and what worked. No, I'm joking. Listen, I believe these 3 fighters. Billy Joe Saunders' fight was close. The Rocky Fielding and Canelo Smith, I still believe I won these fights. The judging was questionable. So listen, I mean, of 2 of the 3 opponents, I probably should have beaten them.
Anything you can take away from their performances of what not to do against Canelo? And if not, then what fight do you look at in particular to say, I can take something away from that to expose him and have a good chance at winning the fight?
Yeah, just don't burn yourself out. Don't sit on the ropes too long. That's prime territory for him. He's gonna really stalk you down and get you on the ropes. So stay away from him.
You've been on an excellent run of form to get this mandatory opportunity, but obviously Canelo chooses who he wants to fight. How did it feel for you professionally when you locked down this matchup and you got this fight that everybody in this weight class wants?
Can you speak up the more actually?
I just feel like I really earned it. Obviously, I got myself into the #1 position with the WBO mandatory. So I've worked hard, I've hustled hard. And listen, like I say, I feel like this fight could have happened years ago, but it's happening now and it's the right time.
You've been on a great run of form. He's been arguably on one of his worst runs of form in recent years. He got beat by Bivol. He didn't look great against Canelo by most standards. Does that make you more confident, or do you just feel like this is the right time for this for you?
I feel like it's the right time for me. I'm not looking at the year Sal's had. We've all had bad years in the past. Like I say, it was a great year for me and not so good for him, but I'm not relying on him being faded or washed up. I'm relying on me being at my best and putting on a great performance.
Do you make anything of those performances against Bivol and Golovkin? Some people feel that he could be slowing down as a fighter, Do you see that at all? Or were those fighters just as good or maybe better than him the nights he fought them?
Potentially, I mean, but we don't know until we're in there on May 6th. Bivol was the weight above him and light heavy, and I think when Sal fought Kovalevi after the fight, he said that it was a bit of a step too far with weight and he wouldn't be going back there, so I was quite surprised to see that the Bivol fight had been made. But listen, I think obviously with the Golovkin fight he had the injury and who knows what part that was playing in his camp, so like we say, he's had that operated on now. May 6th, we're prepared for him to be back to his best.
Working so hard to get to this point and fight somebody like Canelo, it's a big paycheck, a very memorable moment in your career. You obviously don't want to celebrate it too much, but if you did, how'd you celebrate it and how do you refocus and get back into the gym with the task at hand,
We'd go back to the hotel after the fight, a few tacos, a bit of ice cream, and just have a good catch up with the team.
Yeah, not looking forward, but beating Canelo will open doors for you, man. Any single fight from there on would be possible for you to make. You'll be a very big name then. Do you look forward to any possible opponents?
Well, I look forward to the rematch. I'm sure he'd want that. But yeah, like I said, I'm just fully focused on Sal. He's worked hard in this sport to get to where he is as of high, so I'm not looking past him, not one bit.
Can you give me your thoughts on next Saturday's fight on your division, David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant? What do you think is going to happen?
Great fight. Real fight fan treat for the fight fans. I think it's going to be a great scrap. And you've got to favour Benavidez, but obviously Plant is a great fighter. He's obviously coming off the great win against Zelle, so I think the fans are in for a treat.
How do you think David's going to do, just comparing it to how Canelo did? David's a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, he comes forward a little bit more. How do you think David's going to do?
That's the thing, styles make fights, so just if Benavidez goes out and stops him Plant in fight, it doesn't mean he's a better fighter, it's just stylistically it was better for him. People are always going to make comparisons, but I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to talk about these hypothetical scenarios, but with Canelo possibly having fights like that on the table, do you see how David could potentially compete against like a Canelo like David Benavidez? Is that a good fight for Canelo?
Listen, I think you've seen Canelo compete with the likes of Kovalev, bigger men, Bivol. I know he lost to Bivol, but who knows what the issues were with the injury then. He might have still had it. It might have been the start of it. But I think he could compete with anyone. It wasn't long ago he was talking about going up to cruiserweight.
Yeah, Canelo's very good at dealing with fighters with size too. How do you approach that as a fighter?
Yeah, I think what it seems to him, you've got to close that gap down, get up close, and don't let them fight you at range where they want you. You've got to be in your comfort zone, not theirs.
What impresses you the most? Maybe his body work, his defense. What impresses you most from Canelo?
Listen, he's defensively very good. Any coach in boxing is going to show you tape of Canelo on what he does up close with his slipping and sliding. So, yeah, I mean, he's very good defensively, but then that makes that switch from offense to defense very quick.
Does it frustrate you at all when you went to the press conference in Guadalajara and it was kind of, they were being very extravagant towards Canelo because of his hometown? Were you feeling a little bit awkward or a little bit like, what about me type of situation?
No, listen, it's his first time. It's homecoming, first time in 12 years, so it's to be expected. It's a big occasion for Jalisco, 200 years. So, yeah, there's going to be a bit of fanfare and whatnot, so, yeah, it's good to be part of.
Have you seen that there's people commenting online that you two look alike?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
What do you think? Do you guys think you look alike?
A similar build, we both comb our hairs to the right, beard, I don't know, I think that's about as far as it goes.
Are you going to be coming out or having your fans sing Sweet Caroline to try to out-scream the Mexican boxing fans?
Yeah, I might talk to Eddie, see if we can get Sweet Caroline being played out on the speakers, and yeah, hopefully we can get that and drown out the noise of the Mexicans.
John, how did the Mexican people treat you? How was the hospitality over there?
Well, so far it's been spot on, and thank you for that, but I'm sure as the fight nears it might change, get a bit more hostile, but so far so good. It's been great to be here, and yeah, I mean, I love it over here. It's been great in San Diego and fantastic in Mexico.
And then what was your first reaction when you found out that the fight's in Mexico?
Listen, I knew about the fight, but then there was toying with certain venues. But I did state weeks ago on a podcast, I did that I'd be happy to go to Mexico, and it looks like they really took me up on the offer.
And what do you think is the most dangerous weapon that Canelo brings to the ring that night?
The 50,000 Mexican fans screaming his name.
John, how was the face-off by the way in Mexico?
Wasn't so bad. I mean, it wasn't too hostile. I mean, there was no handshake, no talking, but it might different today, but we'll see.
A lot of people have you as a major underdog. I don't know if you know that.
I'm pretty sure they do, yeah.
What is John Ryder's prediction for this fight?
Just an upset. Not on my part though, I'm going to come away victorious. There's going to be two kings crowned that day, King Charles and King John. King Charles just king of England. I'm going to be king of the world.
Tank or Ryan?
Tank.
Why?
I just think he's got more in his locker.
Message to your fans if they're watching?
They'll be watching, they love you over in England, so yes, tune in May 6th, come and support, and thank you, I appreciate the love and support.
What kind of chance would you give Ryan if he has one? What kind of chance would you say he has to upset Gervonta Davis?
Oh, listen, I'm asked a question, I favour Tank, but Ryan's a great fighter himself, and that speed he's got is brilliant. He's very fast, he's very quick on the mark, and so he's going to cause a lot of problems, I'm sure, but I just favour Tank in that fight.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite Mexican dish?
I do love tacos. Churros are good as well. I suppose this is a bit too much English food, like English Mexican. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to after the fight trying a bit more of the traditional Mexican food.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you.